What is up, Need for Speed racers? It is I, your wheelman, Alex Cornnut, and we're here with the Volkswagen Beetle, 1963. Been racing this car on stream for a few days. I've had a handful of people asking for it. My man Siwoo was running it first against us. He was doing really good in it. I was like, what you got there, my man? I like that. And he shared it with me. We've changed some things on my end, so I've got two builds for you. I've got Siwoo's and I've got the Cornnut Cruise. They are very different in their handling characteristics and how they perform, so you might try both, see what works best for you. Definitely different cars, but that's the beauty of this game. Once you kind of know what you like, preference is key, and so we can do a lot of different builds for people, and we found two that are really good for this vehicle in A+ class. Shout out to Unk RC. He's putting the beats behind this track. Thank you so much for making the music, my man. Let's dig right in. So for Siwoo's build, the engine that we are running is the first motor. It is the Iron Basic 40 brake horsepower, 1.2 liter flat 4. 40 horsepower when you start. We go up a long ways from there. For the parts, Siwoo is running the Silver Pro Induction, Elite Platinum ECU, Silver Pro Fuel System, Super Gold Exhaust, Elite Platinum Roots Supercharger, Sport Bronze Nitrous, Elite Platinum Road Suspension, Basic Iron Brakes, which those are drum brakes, Elite Platinum Grip Tires, Basic Iron Clutch, Super Gold 7-speed transmission. I'll come back and talk about that. Elite Platinum differential. You need it because we got to get that slider as far to the grip as we can. Auxiliary, I'm running Nitrous Drift. I'm running Nitrous Grip. We have both of them in there. That's how we micro drift. That's how we get the most bottle we can. Store that one. Handling, very important, you guys. Full slider, all the way, 80% grip, as far to the left as it goes. Mostly Beyonce. Steering sensitivity, 2 clicks up. That's my personal preference. Do whatever you like. Steering sensitivity, you can do anything you want with that. Downforce, this is important. It is 1 click off of all the way low. So if you go all the way to the left, come 1 click back, that is 269. That is 270. That is 269. Nice. That's where you need it to live. With these cars, specifically the Volkswagen, it is the lightest car in the game. The downforce is incredibly important. It changes how the car handles a lot. Like some cars, you really don't even notice the difference. With this thing, it's like night and day. I mean, it really is sluggish on the top end if you've got a lot of downforce, but that's because of how light the car is. I mean, it really does make a difference. Traction control, off. Drift entry, brake, tap. That is going to give you Siwoo's A+ Volkswagen Beetle. He was shredding in this thing. It does 170. It gets there no problem. It's a very good car. So, like I said, I wanted to talk about the transmission. Having the transmission set up this way, 7-speed, but only the iron clutch, there's a lot of shifting involved. As a manual player, no problem. You're instant shift, you're good. As an automatic player, the shifts are sluggish, and the transmission doesn't always shift where you want it. This might not be a build for an automatic player. The Cornnut build will do fine for an automatic player. If you're a manual player, this car allows you to be in the gear at the right time for all your corners. That being said, when you get boost, you're needing to shift up a couple of times before you hit it because you're going to transfer through 2 or 3 gears with 1 good launch or 1 good boost corner. And if you're getting a 3-bar because you're doing micro drifting, there's a lot of shifting happening. So you really need to be very in tune with what the car wants. Herbie is very particular with this build. You got to make sure you're treating it right. That's the nuance there. So definitely a great build, but that is for the more advanced player. Let's dig in to the Cornnut Racing Crew build. So for Siwoo's, it was the flat 4 1.2 liter Iron Basic. For the Cornnut build, it is the first sport motor you get. So if you count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, it is the 5th option the Sport Bronze 197 brake horsepower 2.0 liter flat 4. That is the motor which we use for the Cornnut build. 5th option over, 197. The reason I'm so specific about that, you guys, is look, that's a 2.0 liter. That's a 2.0 liter. Oh, look, another 2.0 liter. There's a handful of those to choose from. So if you go and you get the very first Sport Bronze one, that's the one we use for this one. When we were selecting these cars, this is why we were having so much fun with this. We had 8 different Beetles in lobbies at different points, and we were all running different motors and parts configurations. And Sloth was like, run them all. You never know what you're going to get. And so Sadrows was the one that chose this motor, so shout out to him for developing this. He was launching harder than any of us, and I was like, that's the one. Give me that. Launch is important. Getting out in front of people, super omega important. So I'll talk about that as well when I get done with this build. So for the Cornnut Crew Racing build, for the parts, you are running the Silver Pro Induction. You are running the Elite Platinum ECU. You are running Iron Basic Fuel System. You are running Bronze Sport Exhaust. Elite Platinum Screw Supercharger. You could do the Elite Platinum Roots or the Screw. We found that the Screw was a little better, so that's what we used. When you can choose between the two of them, I'd recommend the Screw. I think it's a little better. And my man Trigger over at the Militia Gaming, he also thinks it's better. So I believe that we're probably of like minds there. Sport Bronze Nitrous Bottle. Elite Platinum Road Suspension. Iron Basic Brakes. Elite Platinum Grip Tires. Iron Basic Clutch. 4-speed Bronze Sport Transmission. That's the big difference here, you guys. Siwoo's running 7, we're running 4. So there's a huge difference on how the car performs, and I'll walk you through that in a moment. Elite Platinum Differential. Auxiliaries have not changed. We're running drift, we're running grip. Micro drifting. For the handling, 80%, run it all the way left. Steering sensitivity hasn't changed. Downforce, all the way low instead of one click off. All the way is where we want this car to be as light as possible. No downforce, all zoom. Traction control off, drift entry, brake tap. That's what I want you guys to see. If I put the handling back to one click so it matches the other build, I can swap between the transmission and the engine and go from Cornnut build to Siwoo's build almost instantly. So build both if you've got a little money, and then just go in the garage and just swap them out and try them between playlists and see what you think. That's the best way to really find out what you like. And I would recommend running both cars or both builds a couple of times to hone in, unless you kind of know right away that you prefer more gears or you prefer the 4-speed. So for that, like, if you look at the parts combo here, you guys, you'll see that there's engine parts, there's chassis, there's drivetrain. The chassis and the drivetrain and the auxiliary, those don't change when you swap out the motor. So you'll see we're platinum, iron, platinum, iron, 4-speed. If I go swap to Siwoo's engine build, these all change, but this is all still the same. We go and we throw in the 7-speed, boop, we're right to Siwoo's build. So it's really easy to swap between stuff. So if you guys are getting a car and you're maybe wanting to run it for multiple classes, or you're maybe not sure the best way to handle things as far as what build you want to use, do that, you guys. Definitely go and just grab a couple of the engines and just see what you think is best. So we're going to go back to the Cornnut build. That's the one I use. That's the one I like. The 4-speed is awesome because 4th gear is really long. You kind of just, you launch in 3rd, you stay in 3rd, everything's golden. Click into 4th when you're going about 115, 120, and then that's just it. You carry that all the way to 170 mile an hour. It's a long gear. For that reason, it's a little sluggish at the low end of 4th, but with boost, this car is a rocket ship because you can go into a corner, you can e-brake 90 degrees, and then use all of your boost to accelerate out, and you've got all of 4th gear to play with, and so it just is flying. So for all of us, we were really liking that. We like being able to just kind of like set the gear, forget it, just go run, and really enjoy the car. So overall, there's very different handling models here. Cornnut crew, which Hex really likes it, Sloth and myself and Sadrows, like we all really like this build. Siwoo's build isn't this in the same taste as a lot of us, just because there's a lot more shifting involved. It's a very specific level of driving that requires you to be good at that, and maybe we're just not at that level yet. Siwoo, he's out in his own world out there driving it. He's really quite fast, and so props to him for being able to drive it the way he does. Try them both. Let me know what you think. Other than that, you guys, that's going to give you 2 builds in one. Volkswagen Beetle 1963. A+. This thing is really fun to drive. It's really fast, and when you're beating up other kids and other cars in A+ class, you just feel like awesome. Herbie is flying in Need for Speed these days. Don't let those brakes deceive you. Those are all cosmetics. This thing has drum brakes, and you're using the e-brake a lot. I've got gameplay footage after this. I've got like 10 races to choose from because we had full lobbies. We were having a lot of fun. There's one race that I'm going to put in there where I spend more time on top of my opponent's car instead of beside him. Instead of passing him that way, we pass him on top. It was a lot of fun. We were just doing degen stuff. But that's what we do as the crew. I stream most nights of the week. Please like, subscribe, follow if you haven't yet. It helps me out a bunch. It really does help me out a bunch. Puts this video in front of other people so they can come and hang out as well. So that helps me. It really does. I have a Discord. We're thriving. We've got a ton of guys in there right now that are racing. It's what we do. We race and we talk shit and just have a great day all day. Thank you so much. Have a great rest of your day. Bye-bye. All right, race 1, Drifter's Delight. I want to pause here and show you something really stinking cool. It blew my mind when my man brought it to me. We're looking at Sadrows' Beetle for this race. You'll see the back. It says L4 G7 right there on the spoiler. Our good friend, I'm Not Donald, was putting what gear he launches the car in on his license plate or tagging it on the back of his cars. It blew my mind. And so Sadrows and a couple of other guys have started doing this. It is genius. So huge shout out for the big brain moves of I'm Not Donald. This is awesome. So if you are a new manual player, or you're like a lot of us in the Cornnut crew, and you've got, I don't know, 100 cars, and they're all manual, and they all have different transmissions, and you don't know what gear to launch in, put it on the back of your car. Put it on the license plate. Put it in a sticker. You'll see that he's got L4 G7. He launches 4th gear. He has a 7-speed. So at the start of each race, without any prior knowledge, he can know what kind of transmission's in that car and what gear to launch it in for optimal launch. Big brain moves, blew me away. Do that, you guys. If you're a manual player, this is the tip of the day. So big shout out to Sadrows for implementing it. Huge shout out to I'm Not the Donald for sharing that with us. My mind blew when that happened. I loved it. So we are running the 4-speed. I launched the car in 3rd gear. It's a lot of fun. You'll see that this thing is a rocket ship. Both Sadrows and myself are out here flying. He's got the 7-speed for Siwoo. I've got the 4-speed of the Cornnut crew. There's another one. Sloth's out there in his. It's a Beetle takeover. Like, our man Nil is over there in the F40, and we are launching hard, you guys. So this car is nothing to be slept on. We're taking the inside lines, degen lines, using our boost to get up to speed. I'm on top of my man Sloth right there. We're out here just having a lot of fun, crashing and thrashing as we do. You'll see I'm always shooting for the inside of these checkpoints, trying to keep as tight a line as possible. Pretty much running 3rd gear through most of this race. We click into 4th there at 100 mile an hour, and then we'll shift right back down to 3rd the next time we slow down. When I'm below 90, you'll usually see me down in 3rd. Boost is insane with this car because you run 100 to about 170. So we're just slowing down, doing the best we can to not hit traffic, but as we do, I'm always hitting everything. It's going to give our friends the opportunity to pass. You'll see Sloth and Nil just going all crazy. I'm over here on degen lines, on top of Sloth again, bunny hopping away. This is the fun that we have here. Like, when we're racing as a group and there's nothing on the line, we're just enjoying ourselves. This is the kind of stuff that happens. So twice trying to pass Sloth, I've been on top of his car. One legit pass, 2 involving me being on top of him. That's how we do. It's a lot of fun. Just keeping it tight, staying on oncoming, but also doing the best I can to keep a nice tight line. Trying to walk down that F40. That car is really fast. He's got a good line there. I didn't get a grip turn like I would have liked. If I would have had a grip turn there, I might have had more bars. I used my boost and I clipped the inside, so F40, Nil is going to take the W on this race. But overall, it's just a fun race. We're hopping and bouncing all over the place, and that's what I wanted to show you guys. Just having fun. Alrighty, race 2, Lakeshore Remix. This race is awesome. I think you guys are going to love this. I've got a very specific line I want to show you. We launch in 3rd gear. Things are rocket ship in 3rd. We shift at about 102, 105 into 4th gear, and that's when we're going to make everything happen. We go up into this turn. I drift. I shift down into the 3rd. I'm staying in oncoming, trying to top up my nitrous as much as possible. Try to drag out that drift a little bit to get yellow boost. It just didn't happen. Get a little bit of a bobble there. Use all the boost immediately to get back up to speed. And then I'm just staying in oncoming, trying to get as much nitrous as possible. We get good boost there, get a good grip turn. That's all filling our nitrous. Now watch here. This is what I want you guys to see. I am going straight through that billboard because on the other side of that is the gas station. If you look kind of up and to the right, there's the 446 yard sign. That is the next checkpoint. We don't want to aim straight for it because you'll hit the gas station. Directly above our car is the power lines. That is my reference point. If you line up your car going into this section with the power lines, you've got a very good line. I'm using nitrous through the grass, through the billboard, through the parking lot. It tops up almost as we hit the parking lot. And so because I'm using it constantly, you're not going to see it really refill. But this is a perfect line to top up your nitrous, you guys. And so I'm going to play it here. We're lined up with the power lines. I go just a little to the right once we're through the billboard, and I'm just staying on the nitrous, and you're going to see it just top up and get used. And so this is the line, if you've got no NOS, to use because you can really make the most of it right here. We play. We're going through the parking lot. We topped up our nitrous. We were still using it. I keep 2/3 of a bottle. I'm going to back that up. I want you guys to see it one more time. Coming around the corner, we're lining up with the power lines above us, going through the parking lot, using all of our nitrous. That's the move, you guys. It's a really cool line. A lot of people don't take it. Be aware of that. Now, I get murdered in oncoming traffic because, you know, that's how things go. But regardless, this thing shifts really hard and accelerates really hard, and it's just a really fun car to drive. So, Kibo, running the little Volkswagen, is off to the races. Bo also in the Volkswagen. Like, as a crew, we were driving this car so much yesterday. I love it. I was getting my drafts off of them, getting back up to speed. This thing only does about 170. It does shave decent speed in the corners, so just kind of be aware of that. If you can make your boost last, you want to do that. That's why I was using it in the near misses there. I should have got further to the left, but I was avoiding traffic, so I hit the inside of that checkpoint to stay on tarmac. Gonna draft Kibo here to get as much yellow boost as possible while also getting oncoming. Getting that up to speed. I'm gonna let off the gas slightly here, but not really brake too much, and that keeps me on a very good path. Staying in oncoming, getting the near misses, topping up the nitrous as much as possible, but at this point we're probably not going to get enough to really make a huge dent in our race. We've got about 1 bar of NOS. We're going to get a grip turn here, and when we use that with the drop down as well, that's going to give us a 3 bar. I use it here to get back up to speed. The car turns a little more than I'd like. We're going to use our 3 bar here on entry to get as tight there as possible. Another 3 bar to accelerate. Straighten out. Use that boost again. Straighten out. Use that boost again. And straighten back out. See how that works? You get a grip turn, straighten out, get a grip turn, straighten out. You can really chain those together and be going through that corner faster than everybody else if you make a couple of little micro turns as opposed to one big one. Alright, last race of the playlist, Shopping Spree. This is a fun track. It's got a lot of 90-degree turns, a lot of grip turns involved, a lot of different ways you can hit it, so that's why I bring it to you. Hopefully give you some tips you can use. We're going to launch in 3rd gear, as we always do. using all of our nitrous at the same time, just getting this car up to speed, shift into fourth at 105 mile an hour, and now we're in fourth pretty much for the duration of the race. We're getting parked car near misses, and we're going to use that as a long grip turn to get our boost. I'm going to hang a right, e-brake, use all of our boost to get back up to acceleration. Had I not hit those parked cars there, we would really be zooming. This is a dangerous spot. You can favor the left and hope there's no traffic and it sets you up for all these parked car near misses. Use the boost there or get a one long grip turn. It's kind of up to you, but you really want to try to use as much boost as possible to make those tight corners. Same kind of thing, using parked cars for near misses to accumulate as much boost as possible. Here, you don't have to use the brakes here. You can just accelerate through there, and if there's no traffic involved, you can really carry a lot of speed. But I'm trying to get as many near misses as possible on these parked cars, and then you would e-brake there and turn out. Even though I'm not running super clean, this car is good enough that if you're hitting clean lines, you can really gap your opponents. Running up the left there, getting all the parked cars, getting the boost, using that, accelerating, getting a grip turn, and then using that boost there to turn a little sharper to carry our speed. And so overall, this car is really good. It's a lot of fun to drive. Build it, you guys. Enjoy it. Bring Herbie to the masses and go beat up kids in a Beetle. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great rest of your day. Bye-bye.